So in continuation for the approach, before we jump into the strategy framework, it's important to see how very specific functions are picked up to understand the level of digitization and then what it will take for digitalization of the larger organization to come to existence. So what is done is each of these functions, right? You see 4 functions on the screen as a diagram. You see the customer experience services, you see sales and marketing, operations and workplace. Typically it consists of these, right? In workplace, for the people who would have known, is the HR related activities that people and the workforce is working with. So this is what largely happens in an organization. Okay, now operations would mean, be it manufacturing, be it services, be it whatever, right? So those are the operational activities where finance and sometimes even sales comes as a part of it. Okay, but if you broad base it, typically these are the 4 areas. Now, based on this, from a business consulting perspective for digitalization or for digitalization as an approach, one needs to see which of these are now digitized and so are ready for a larger digitalization. And to that, you then start putting some goals. You might put futuristic goals into each of this and see where they are at this point of time by examining and going through a round of audit system, as they call it, right? It's an industry term where they see the technology platform, they see the softwares that are being used, they see the applications, the subscriptions that people are doing, the UIs and the UXs that people are being using for doing the work or perform the duties that has been assigned to them. And all that then follows through into this. So you keep a goal that the digitization that needs to be done, where manual work is cut down to the minimal, is to say X content, right? Extent, maybe 50%, say, right? Like the green ones typically would be say 50%. And when you see and once you audit, you realize each of these spheres are at about between 12 to 25%, which is half the battle won, right? It's like less than, maybe you'll have to do the effort of 100% improvement there. So you put a time frame, based on the audit, you put a time frame, you put a roadmap, you do the gap analysis, and based on the gap analysis, you put milestones, and then you will go a time factor and so on and so forth. Where of course it's not singularly done, you get a lot of your partners to come and do this, or it's a technology company or rather the corporation itself might be having that, which then you can ask for the relevant reports to be done. And then once you do this, you will then come to a point. The balance point, right? The balance point, as you see, describes the reasons why an enterprise shouldn't over digitize. Now, a balance point is where once you overfeed the system so much that it becomes impossible for people to use it. A, B, if they don't use it, then how is the duty performed, right? The work has to get performed because the organization cannot come to a standstill. So those elements are to be taken care of. Hence the balance point is put into play. You cannot straight away jump into 100% digitization. It goes in discrete steps. Hence it takes years to do that. All right. So with that said, the approach takes a systemic approach, right? And what you see is part of that activity. So you pick up the functions, you start working in singular goals and understand where they are right now. Then you move to the next level by understanding the balance point for each of the functions, and then move faster or slower in each of those, depending on where they stand at the moment and how it affects the larger digitalization program that you're looking at. So that's how the basics of this works, right? As part of the approach, besides what we discussed in the previous one. Now, with this said, let's jump to the framework. At how does the framework work, right? You will understand and then you'll correlate this with the frameworks when it comes into existence. Okay, I will see you there.